What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Hollywood Hangouts. This is the first episode of the new show where we get together every week and just hang out with fellow actors and directors in the industry, and we just bullshit about movies. And so we got Gaven Wilde tonight. You know him from The Righteous Gemstones, Halloween Kills, The Black Phone. Dude, you're in so much shit. You've got Scott Goldberg, director of the upcoming horror movie The Forest Hills, starring Edward Furlong, Dee Wallace, Chico Mendez, and the amazing Shelley Duvall. And then we have Noah Drake Bell right there. You know him from being Noah. And he's also table guest number 12 in Three Billboards over at Ebbings, Missouri. And he's my life. And I am Nerdy Dustin. Welcome, and let's get the ball rolling. How's everyone's day going?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Good.
Good. Awesome. All right. So, what is the next movie everyone's excited to see in theaters? And Scott, it can't be The Forest Hills.
The Substance I saw, it looked pretty interesting. I didn't really see trailers until today. I was speaking about it before with Debbie Moore. Looks pretty good. I was like, man, I wish my movie looked like this. I looked up the budget. It was like, I think 15 million. I was like, okay, never mind. I'll just wait for the future projects. But no, it looked pretty intense and very artistic and stuff. So The Substance, which is already out, looks pretty cool actually. So yeah.
That's good. Gavin, what about you, bud?
Man, I tell you what, I'm not 100% sure, but something that I did see recently was Deadpool and Wolverine, and let me tell you, the freaking best movie, oh my God, ever the whole year. I don't watch a lot of movies, so maybe that's a biased opinion, but I don't have anything that I'm looking forward to right now. I need to watch more movies, but that's the most recent one I've seen, and that made me want to watch more movies.
Okay, amazing. Yes.
Hell yeah, good answer.
That's
I'll
right.
jump in for third. It's I'll do like a regular movie, then like a horror kind of movie. But the opposite end of the comic book spectrum over at DC, I'm gonna go watch Superman, which is the Chris Reeves documentary that they're putting out. Like I've got like 17 trash bags full of tissues so that I could like wipe my eyes afterwards because the trailer alone had me in tears. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to see next. And then I don't know, like Joker Folie à Deux coming out here shortly. That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Not a necessarily a horror movie, but yeah, that's the next sort of like big movie. And but no, I'm also really loving like The Penguin on HBO Max and Agatha All Along. That's kind of spooky. That's in like the spooky realm. But yeah, that shit's good too. What about you, Dustin?
Ooh, yeah, Agatha is. I'm loving Agatha. Oh, it's an amazing show. The next thing I'm excited for is it's The Forest Hills.
Sneaky. He had to get that.
No, there's a lot of good stuff coming. Transformers 1, I'm really excited for. I'm good friends with John Bailey. He voices Soundwave, so he's been hyping it up for me. And I'm really excited for that. And I'm a huge Transformers fan. I'm really looking forward to Forest Hills, y'all. It comes out in what week, Scott? Scott, we're a week away.
No, October 4th, and then the select theaters, and then the other round is the following week for certain days and periods. Yeah, so, but yeah, excited about that for sure. Yeah.
So excited. Scott, you want to talk about what is the Forest Hills? What am I talking about here?
Forest Hills is the return of Shelley Duvall. Unfortunately, her final film. Unfortunately, she passed away in July. People know her obviously from The Shining. It's just about a guy named Rico who kind of descends into madness and kind of meets the wrong group of people, such as Edward Furlong, who plays Billy, and kind of he spirals down from there and kind of gets a little crazy. So, but it's kind of like a drama / thriller horror, a lot of blood, a lot of craziness. So yeah, pretty fun.
It's amazing. I can't wait for y'all to see it. Can't wait. Noah, you're coming October 4th, Walterboro?
Oh yeah, I'll be there no matter what on October 4th, man. Like I said, I already got the merch.
I know that.
Guys, let's promote this merch too, and you can pre-order the Blu-ray already. So get get this merch because it's fire, Scott. Seriously, but make a hat. I need a hat, Scott.
Yeah.
I need
It's funny. He got the old merch because we had a website, T Public, and you could like just throw up any logo. So his is actually probably one of the only. It's the very only few that he has is the older version of the shirt, and I really appreciate the support. No, for sure.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes, Scott.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna put. There's a new website with a new store. I'll put in the description. Yeah, you can order the Blu-ray. You can order. We have a combo pack where you can get like a T-shirt with the movie, right? And then
Yeah, all different stuff. Blu-rays
yeah.
and different versions. There's different versions like Shelley Duvall version, which is the Mama edition, has all different like stuff with her on it, behind the scenes, her final day of filming with her, which is the final day she ever filmed anything in the project. At the Billy version, which is Edward Furlong, a lot of Edward Furlong stuff in there, documentary stuff and everything. So yeah, it was pretty good stuff. So definitely excited about it for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, Scott, I was going to say, you kept in mind the physical media collectors like me and Noah here, and we love that. We love the special packaging. We love the special editions, the extra special features. We love that kind of stuff. Yeah, dude, so awesome. All right, y'all. It's Halloween season. We're all fanatics of the horror genre. Me and Gavin are in a horror movie called Halloween Kills. So I'm wondering, what is everyone's favorite slasher? I don't think I actually know your favorite slasher, Noah.
It's gonna be a surprise. I don't know. Let's let Gavin take the lead on this one.
Oh man, you
first.
You just chose the worst person to answer. But
I could feel it. I could feel you're like, don't pick me, don't pick me, don't pick me.
Hey, hold on.
We've done this to him before too.
Oh, look, you guys have. Yeah, that's what they do. They invite me onto the show and they just bully me. I don't know. My favorite slasher. I grew up watching a lot of like Freddy versus Jason and stuff like that. So I think it would probably be one of those, that or either the Freddy Krueger movies. I know it's a very vague answer, but I was really young when I watched those, and I remember actually seeing. I don't know when Rough House Pictures got involved with some of that stuff. I don't know if it was early on. Maybe it was Chucky. There was some sort of horror movie that they were affiliated with. And I remember seeing their logo, and I was like, okay, every time I see that logo, I know it's going to be a good movie. Those guys are awesome, and it's just funny I'm working with them now.
Very cool. I'd say for me it was Ice Cream Man. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, Clint Howard, baby.
I do like that movie. I do like that movie though. But no, I'd say well, I grew up on like Friday the 13th, but I just can't watch him anymore. Unfortunately, it's just I've seen it so many times. It's kind of like I remember it in my mind.
Right.
But Halloween is definitely for sure because with Halloween 1, you have the original. I don't think John Carpenter, as he said, he wanted to write Halloween 2, but they were like, we're making it without you anyway. But I like what they did with Halloween 3. I think that would have been cool to kind of have a different thing every year. The Silver Shamrock mask and like setting it in like Northern California and like just a completely different story with like Tom Atkins and Stacey Nelkin playing the two leads. So I would have liked to seen something like that, but obviously people are like, where the hell is Michael Myers? So then part 4, Return of Michael Myers, he comes home. But I do like Halloween 6, the producer's cut, much more than the theatrical. So much better. Has the music from Halloween similar, and it just has like less of that craziness, slasher stuff, blood craziness with Michael Myers killing all like the people in like that building, wherever it was, where all the cult stuff was happening. But yeah, so and then don't get me started about Halloween Resurrection. Now, my wife and I watch it every year though because it's so bad. But it's just like Busta Rhymes kicking the shit out of Michael Myers and kicking him out the window where Michael Myers is hanging by like a wire or whatever. So stupid, but it's entertaining. But it keeps on. Yeah, it was good that they refreshed everything with like Halloween 2018 because I like that they kind of just did something where it kind of forgets everything else. It's like 4 different Halloween timelines, right? This did something completely based off of the original. So 40 years later, and I like that. So it's cool that they're able to do that because then you have like the David Gordon Green's trilogy, right? And it's a standalone. Aside from being a sequel. Michael Myers, gets basically at the end, So, and I liked Halloween Ends. I liked that it was different. It was kind of like the Halloween 3 of and Carrie of like, you know, the Halloween trilogy at that point. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man knows his Halloween.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It really is. I just got to give a shout out to you, Scott, because like literally everything you said, and to have another Halloween 3 fanatic on this chat is the piece de resistance, man. That's good stuff. Like I was gonna go with Michael Myers because I've got Michael Myers stuff everywhere. But I'm gonna choose one that like I really, really loved all my life, and then I'm gonna pivot real quickly. I'm doing a 2-for-1, but hey, I'm part of this channel, so I can do whatever I want to. So I love Leatherface, right? For the kind of a similar reason. You don't have to explain too much what he is. You kind of know it's based off of Ed Gein, the Butcher of Plainsfield. You know that's based on a lot of stuff. It's got that great John Larroquette opening. It, Tobe Hooper, man, Tobe Hooper, dude. It made me. Obviously, I didn't see it in theaters. I'm not quite that mature. Is maybe a great word for it. But when I saw it for the first time at a very young age, I'm like, is this real, Mom, Dad? Why didn't you tell me that there is a actual chainsaw murder in Texas? That's not too far away from where we live. But no, I really like it. And then it also gets super zany. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Didn't really care for the Netflix one as much, but I really like this could be a remake. Leatherface for me. It was a tie. Leatherface or Norman Bates. There's so many good slashers out there. But I tell you, I did not jump on the Terrifier train as early as most people did. But now, I'm kind of hooked. Maybe after meeting David Howard Thornton at like a convention, I'm signing this shirt right here, made me like him that much more. But I went back to Damien Leone's all his previous films, All Hallows Eve, to see it. But yeah, I can see why the love of Art the Clown is out there, and why the third movie will probably make a shit ton of money.
Very nice. Yeah.
Nerdy Dustin, you're up.
My pick is Henry Evans from The Good Son. Now, he didn't kill anybody except for a dog, but he did try to kill his mom and his sister, and that is insane, and that puts him far above these other people.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Macaulay Culkin of it all. Nice.
No, my favorite slasher, it's Freddy Krueger. I mean, he has personality, and most slashers, they just stand there in the background. They kill somebody, and it's just their presence. That's really terrifying. But what makes Freddy really terrifying, in the same vein of Chucky, is he has a personality, and he also kills you in your dreams, and that's insane because you can't escape that. But mine's Freddy Krueger, 100%.
I saw Freddy's Dead in the theater, not to make myself seem old. I'm 42,
no!
but I saw Freddy's Dead in the theater. So when you had to put on the 3D glasses, it actually said on the screen, "Put on your 3D glasses now." And like then you'd have have the 3D glasses from the theater, and you put them on. It was like wild because like everything was coming out at you and stuff. So that was pretty crazy for sure. Yeah.
You're so old. I love it.
But not Jaws 3D old.
No.
Oh, not that old.
No.
All right, so if you could, because we're all in the industry, we're all actors or directors or producers, if you could take a slasher from a franchise and make the next one, what would you do? Like Gavin, what franchise would you want to be in?
Oh, dude. Oh man, that's a good question.
Let's do act in and direct because
I like
we're
that.
all in that film. Yeah, we're all in that ballpark.
I love. God, I feel like I used to have an answer for this, but now that you've asked me it, I'm stuck.
Gavin, you get one pass per episode. Per episode. Do you want to use your pass right now, my friend?
Hold on. I'm almost there. Just give me a second. The wheels have rusted. I think Chucky would be pretty cool. Yeah, Chucky would be awesome. I remember. I don't think I auditioned for it, but I think I saw auditions for it. And I was really hoping that I would get one, but it never ended up happening. And then direct. Oh man. Direct. If they ever did another Sinister movie, I think that would be cool to direct.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, Scott needs to get on that and make another Sinister movie.
I know it.
And now you've got your in with Scott, so you can just.
Oh yes, sir. I do.
Scott also needs to make another Doctor Strange. Nothing against Raimi, but I think Derrickson finished with the I think it would have been something different. Anyway, that's a different time. What about you, Scott? There's a lot of Scott.
I would love. Yeah, I know. I would love to. I would love to do a Halloween, direct a Halloween, and I have the perfect, in my mind, perfect idea. So there was a contest years ago on HalloweenMovies.com, and they said, make a Halloween fan short. So I had this idea that Michael Myers is an old man. He dies, but the boogeyman is still like a black shape on Halloween. So I always felt like Michael Myers dying, but the essence of a boogeyman still haunting Halloween would have been pretty fucking cool. Like just kind of like It Follows, it follows like kind of like what it is, but having like because I remember having night terrors, and I'd sleep in my bed and I'd be frozen. A lot of people might have night terrors and stuff like where you're half awake, half asleep, you can't move your body. And there was this black figure with like a knife raised like this, and it would come to me in flashes to the side of my bed. I couldn't speak. So I always felt like that was terrifying. So the idea of Michael Myers dying, but evil still living, because as Carpenter says in the first one, he could be anywhere. Once Dr. Loomis goes and looks over, he doesn't see Michael Myers on the ground anymore. In the original, evil's out there. And I always felt like Halloween has done what they've done with the movies. And I think to have like an actual boogeyman that you don't know where death or evil is going to strike. Sorry about that. You can hear. Quiet, my brother. Hold on. Quiet. Hey. All right. She's bad with fireworks. Hold on a second. Okay, quiet. Come on. Enough. All right. Let her out.
By the way,
Scott, remind me to have my dog outside so I don't forget her all night. No,
I don't edit these episodes, so that's all staying in. Anyway.
Okay. So my dog's just a barker. So it'd be Halloween for sure. Would be that kind of concept. Acting wise, I don't know. I can't. I give it up to people who act because I'm better off behind the camera, not in front, because I would laugh. It would feel uncomfortable for me. But if I could act, and I'd act in something probably like if they really did a good remake of like Day of the Dead, same thing in the bunker underground, and really kind of maybe cast Laurie Cardill again as Sarah. I don't know. It would. Because a lot of films, a lot of companies nowadays can do some amazing movies. Like when you see like what they did with like what Blumhouse does, and like the way they color grade movies, and the way that movies look bleak. So I think setting the underground bunker with the scientists and the zombies, and still keeping it at that same slow zombie thing, instead of like the faster zombies and like Dawn of the Dead remake, which I know a lot of people like. I prefer Romero, but something like that would be pretty cool. Like a Captain Rhodes type of character, but I look nothing like him. But I love that character is so tyrannically crazy, So yeah, that would be cool.
All right, Dustin, you go next. We'll switch up the order a little bit.
For one, Noah is so excited right now, like to have somebody else on the show that is knowledgeable about. Anyway,
deep knowledge.
Right. Of course.
Directing. Oh man, I would love to. I don't know. You know what? I would love to act in and direct a Leprechaun movie, because I don't think, or Hellraiser, both franchises. I think both those franchises were dead after their fourth film, which is kind of funny because the fourth Leprechaun and fourth Hellraiser, they go into space. But regardless, they're dead franchises after that. I guess people like In the Hood, but I would definitely I would remake a Leprechaun in my own thoughts, and I would play the Leprechaun. I would be a 6-foot leprechaun. I'd be the king of the leprechauns. Just like a 6-foot, 5,000-pound leprechaun.
Oh shit!
And I would just be scary as all fuck. That's my answer.
But with Leprechaun, I saw, and I swear to God, I go on YouTube every day just to kind of look at clips and stuff. And the thing that popped up was the Caroline Williams scene with like where she like it was so with like the big lips. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, the thing I got to see today is this thing. That was, I don't know, was that part 4? Which one was that? Do you know, Noah, which one that was?
That was 4. That was part 4.
Oh my God. The first couple were fun. They were definitely fun, but it gets a little crazier as it goes on for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, once he gets to the hood, all bets are off.
With the fucking flute,
Yeah, buddy. They're so good.
Oh my God.
Although I do love Tales from the Hood, like the horror anthology. That's
Okay.
really good. So for me, acting wise, easy. I love just if Sam Raimi made another Evil Dead movie, put me in there.
Yeah.
I think that would be insanely fun. You get to improvise, most likely. You could be covered head to toe in blood and do some of the craziest stuff you could ever think about. Yes, throw me in. If Bruce is in it, I, would shit and cream my pants at the same time. But even if he wasn't in it, then I would still be 100% down. For directing, that's so much harder. But I would love to direct like a creature feature, right? Similar to like you said, Dustin, like something like Leprechaun, but like more probably, I would love to make another Tremors movie or something of that nature, or even like a Frankenstein. I'm excited about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, but Tremors for sure, all practical effects. I wouldn't do it without it, or as much as you possibly can do. Nothing anymore can be done without 100%. But like something with some practical effects. I love those movies. I love having comedy and horror mixed together, especially in the right balance. Yeah, I would love to direct the Tremors movies. Again, we were talking about being hot earlier. You'd have to go out west for it, or maybe set it in a different setting. Would kind of be cool because if they're like way prehistoric kind of creatures, it makes sense that they might be all over parts of the United States. But yeah, the Tremors movie would be fun as shit to direct, for sure.
Hey, now, having heard all of these very, very well thought out answers, I would like to change my answer. Can I do that?
You get one change. You get one change per episode.
All right. I'll make it good. I think I'm going to have to agree with Scott as far as directing with another Halloween movie. I think I would really love to do that because I think something that I would like to try to recapture the original one. I think one mistake that they're making with the newer ones is they're showing Michael Myers too much. And something that I really loved about the original one is they didn't show him a lot, and 2, they didn't follow him around a lot, like with, the camera. He was very much like stationary. Certain, you would see somebody walk past the frame and then he would be in the far background. I would really try to capture what they did with the original one. So that's my new answer. Sorry.
That's cool. I like, and Noah, maybe you might know, or Dustin, or anyone might know, right? Was that Deborah Hill in that shot when the kids are or was it not? Because there's rumors that was Deborah Hill in the background when the kids are trick or treating and Tommy Doyle's looking out the window and like walking by. Is there any confirmation on that?
I don't know if it was confirmed, but I've watched so many documentaries, YouTube videos, and stuff that everyone is convinced it's Deborah Hill. But I don't know with her, being passed away, if like there'll ever be like a definitive answer, unless you were to like nail down like Jamie Lee or somebody at a convention. But yeah, I always heard it was Deborah Hill.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact,
So,
I like both your answers because so great, man. I love me some Michael Myers, guys.
I just wish Gavin would have went to David beforehand and told him that, and we might have gotten a little. No offense, David, if you're watching this, but it would have been cooler. Like, yeah, I agree. It's they went for like this just killing machine. Like they just wanted. It was way more of a shock value in the new trilogy than it was like a psychological like. Yeah, he's just standing in the background, and that is terrifying as hell because the people don't know that we know he's there, but the people don't. And they never they never let the cast know that he's back there, and then they just pan the camera away, and I love it.
And I'll just, this is the last thing I'll say about Halloween and Michael Myers, probably, well, I can't make guarantees, but I think that what they failed to really do is they're like motivation. What is his motivation? The thing about a Michael Myers type, it could be an any town boogeyman. And imagine if Michael Myers existed in a town where no one has ever heard of Michael Myers before. and then the damage and the real fear, because there's always, and that's what they failed when they tried to bring all the legacy characters and stuff in. They already knew what happened on Halloween. A lot of them were prepared, or at least mentally prepared, to try to take down, Michael Myers. And we don't need to know shit about why he's killing people, or a cult of Thorn, or that's his sister, any of that stuff. You just speak it on down to the basic. He's just a shape, and he just kills people. And, not because you're having sex at a camp, not because of this. Yeah, just keep it simple, stupid.
I gotta say one thing because I think we can agree. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. What the fuck were they thinking with that clown music and that?
Right?
And,
Oh,
oh,
we're gonna talk
God.
soundtracks and music here in a little while. But yeah, damn,
Oh my.
damn.
And then also they had like the Fonz wannabe, right? The guy,
Yeah.
the guy who like loved his car and shit. It was fucking hilarious. That was probably for me the worst one is Halloween 5. Yeah,
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
I have a good question. Do you think that we need to go to more original horror movies nowadays, like the Black Phone? Like that was pretty original.
Yeah.
Or the Forest Hills.
Or the Forest Hills. The Forest Hills is super original. You're not gonna it's totally original. Or do we need more of the franchises we love, just sticking to the original context of the original franchise and not adding new stuff that makes no sense? So basically, do we want more original stuff or the stuff that we grew up loving? What do you think we should have more of?
I would lean more in the direction of more original stuff, but I'm not necessarily opposed to bringing back really well-known franchises. Like, I'm a fan of it if it's done right. I think everybody wants to see more of what they fell in love with originally. But it's very rarely done right. Um, I think if you're trying to bring something back, you need to really understand what the original, what was special about the original. But yeah, I think I lean more in the direction of there needs to be more original horror movies, but it's really hard to do that. So I think what we should do is just, come up with your idea, which is probably going to be based off of another, but add individual twist on it. So it's like, oh, this is like Halloween, but with a twist, or this is like this. But then sometimes, you hit gold and you do come up with an idea that nobody's ever done before.
Right. You got to get one of those, right? Those like new types of movies that people replicate, right? Like, so you have like Blair Witch Project, right? Like there
Yeah,
were so many found footages movies after that.
exactly.
So it's hard to try to find that. So if you have the budget and you're able to kind of experiment and make these types of movies that are original, that's great. I think when it comes to the studios and IP that's already there, with projects like Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street, it's a great way for these places to make money because it's already done. It's a guarantee to it most of the time because of the fan base. There's a fan base already there. So I think both would be good. Like Gavin said, it's just a matter of kind of adding those twists on those what twists onto the movies that that we know so well that will follow that same plot or subplot and stuff. So yeah, definitely for sure. I'm more of the original mindset because I think like if you're an independent filmmaker and you have money to do something original, you come into money, whether it's 250, 500. I know it's really hard to do that nowadays. Or investors that you show them what you could do and they believe in what you could do, then I think you should strive to do something original because if you have your own voice doing someone else's potential projects, potential IP that you don't own or have or want to maybe start your own, could be tough, so I give it up to Damien and Terrifier because they obviously started with something original and they built a franchise from there, so yeah, I think either one, honestly, it really depends. The studios are always going to lean towards, their types of, bigger budget type of, remakes and doing what's already there. But maybe there'll be a shift at some point. 70s, right? There was a revolution of like so many amazing movies and Taxi Driver, right? With Martin Scorsese and everything, and just so there's different eras, and so I feel like the remake eras of like 2000s, for me personally, was not the greatest because you had like the Carrie remake and Dawn of the Dead remake and all these remakes, and I feel like they couldn't. Nightmare on Elm Street 2010, I think it was, whatever, but they couldn't really capture. I feel like what a true horror fan, and again, it's all subjective, but what a true horror fan feels they felt when they saw the original. Now, not the copy. You don't have to copy what's been done, but at the same time, tonality is important, right? So when you think of horror films, The Shining, Kubrick has a tone. Halloween, Carpenter has a tone. Day of the Dead, Romero has a tone. So it's like you feel something when you watch these films. It might inspire us as an actor, as a director, as a writer to say, man, I feel that. When I'm watching Day of the Dead, I feel the underground bunker. I feel the people lost at the end of the world. I feel the music. The music is nostalgic. It means something to me. I can get emotional over it because John Harrison and his score and all the synth stuff that he does, and the Prophet 5 synths with Pink Floyd did a lot of that stuff on the wall. So all those aspects, man. I just think it's, anyway, sorry if we're going off a tangent, but we all love movies, right? So it's always good.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
Talk about it. Yeah.
No, I agree with both you gentlemen. Certainly you, Scott, too. Like, find someone. For me, it's find someone that has a voice. I mean, it's worked great too with modern day horror as well. Your Jordan Peele's of the world. I think that there'll never be a time ever in our lifetimes or beyond that they won't go back to the well, right? Nostalgia is a powerful drug. Gavin said earlier that it's one of his best movies this year was Deadpool and Wolverine. Heavy nostalgia pulls at our heartstrings. From a studio perspective, obviously, new horror used to be more of a gamble, but it's hot now because of the budgets are so low. And since the pandemic and the strikes and stuff like that, they want to find something that's terrifying. You can crank out for 50, 75 million. It's going to make 200, 250 million, and then go on from there. Or 100 million to 125 million. It's going to make 300, 400 million dollars. Studios kind of want that. I think that the only thing really is that different, because Scott mentioned time periods too, something that would scare people genuinely in the 50s and 40s and 60s do not scare us now.
Right.
So you have to stick with primal fears as like the man apes that we are, things that are truly terrifying, creatures bigger than ourselves, death, the unknown, all of that stuff. But there's so many niche. Go ahead. Yeah.
All types of stuff like that. No, I agree. Keep going.
Right. So you can't really remake certain things that even were really popular in the past because the translation, if you translate it to the modern audiences, what it was, the essence is lost. Or if you try to do a shot-for-shot remake, it's not going to be scary because certainly, like, I'm a parent of my oldest kid turns 21 Tuesday, like the day after tomorrow.
Right.
And you have other teenagers in the house, some of them aren't scared of nothing. But then they're also scared of spiders,
Right.
We could watch. So it's really finding that balance. And it's impossible really because money rules the world. If a studio thinks, oh, wow, this, maybe wasn't the great critically acclaimed Halloween Ends wasn't like, critically acclaimed, but it made enough money to make a Haddonfield TV show, so there'll always be modern. I would just, I don't know. I still can rewatch all those movies myself, and I love it. And sometimes I need a sequel. I needed a Beetlejuice for me. I needed that so much more than I thought when I watched the movie. But if I had my ultimate choice, just cut off and make new content, period, because that new content is going to be iconic for a next generation and so on and so forth.
I like what you said about that because, like, when it comes to movies in general, like, you got to get yourself into that aspect of feeling what is potentially what potentially could be a situation you're in. So, like Fatal Attraction, for example, I have a kid, I have a wife. If there's a situation like like that, and like this bitch is crazy, like this, Glenn Close's character is crazy. And I think I was speaking because this was reminding me. I mentioned that because we were speaking to someone else about it, and there was another movie that came out, Unfaithful. Which I think is from the same director, I think, from what they were saying. And the part where Richard Gere, was he in it, right? Richard Gere was in it. When he hits the globe on the forehead, you see the blood came down. I was terrified when I was a kid seeing it in the theater in 2000, whenever it came out. That scared me more than any horror could at that time because it was realistic. So putting yourself in that position of realism with horror, I think is very very important when it comes to that kind of stuff. And sometimes there'll be different subgenres of horror films, and sometimes horror films are meant to be fun and crazy and monsters and vampires and werewolves, and that's cool too. So it's there's something for everyone, and that's the best thing about that is there's definitely something for everyone.
Going back to what Noah said, I would love to see a $200 million horror movie. What would that look like?
Hey.
There has to have been $200 million horror movies.
Never. I mean, Halloween Kills cost $20 million. I have like a $200 million horror movie. The kills
that would need to be the darkest, most disturbing movie you can make. That can connect with everyone. I feel you need a movie that that tackles everyone's basic fear. You have to find out from humanity what are the three fears that you have. And I think AI is like really horrific because if you see some of the stuff that AI puts out there, man, holy shit, it's some dark shit. So like I think that kind of stuff, like implementing some sort of AI into some storyline, could be crazy, even if it isn't 200 million. Like I mean, have you seen the things on like Instagram about the eggs, the AI eggs and shit?
Yep.
Oh, what the fuck is that? It's creepy. It's crazy.
Wait. The AI eggs? What is that?
There's like this Instagram account that they make like AI with like eggs. So like it'll show like people in the shopping like with a shopping cart with the eggs, and they'll start boiling and like melting, and like a dog's face with like eggs. It's just like really odd. And there's one that I saw with like these mouths, and they would like the eggs yolks would start like coming out and stuff, and it was just like
that's crazy.
It's like a really gross. AI is fucking gross. It's evil.
It really is, and this is something that like from the little bit of I say little, I downplay it a lot, but I've been doing visual effects for a long time, and I've seen some of these tricks be used before. And this is something I was afraid of for a long time. I remember when deep fakes had just come out, like Corridor Crew, they had started, putting celebrities' faces on other people's faces and stuff like that, just to be cool and show it. But they made it very apparent this is obviously not real. And I just thought to myself, knowing a little bit about that stuff, it's gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse. And yeah, it's kind of like the best way to look at it is like a painting. Like you've got, highlights, midtones, and shadows. You can make a lot of stuff out of all of that. You can make something look 3D with just painting. So I think that's the technology it's kind of using. It's just merging everything all together and create, and it's just terrifying. But I kind of figured we would get to this point. And it's wild to see that we're here there. Like we're here now.
I think also, yeah, right. And like, isn't there like, I saw like a video, and I don't know if it's true, but like there's different levels of AI. Once it becomes self-aware,
see,
hopefully it doesn't, but I think it will.
That goes way over my head. Like that's stuff that I don't even understand and terrifies me.
I know.
Same. Dude, Scott, that would have been like, right when you said that would have been a perfect time for Edward to pop in behind your video and be like, oh, I know. And then
yeah, Furlong, yeah. John Connor.
Yeah, AI, we've talked, I've talked about this before. It's coming. It's kind of already here. I know there's a startup in Silicon right now working on it, but we're getting to a point where you'll just sit in a room and you'll have one guy and he'll make an entire movie by just telling the computer what he wants, and it just makes it. We'll all be out of jobs, and that's where AI is going, and that's what's terrifying. Like,
here's what I think the good thing is there's a certain level of flaw in what humans create, and I think that's where we can start to tell the difference. Who knows? Unless AI replicates that flaw, like camera shake, and then lens flares or stuff like that. Little mistakes, which obviously could be creative decisions as well. Right now, we're still at the point where we can kind of tell the difference, but it's very quickly getting to the point where we can't, and it's just sad. So many people's jobs and talents are being taken away. I see it all the time, like plugins that will do a lot of work for you when it comes to visual effects. And I'm like, I remember having to manually do all that stuff. And I'm like, no, like that's a part of um the appreciation of it is because it was so difficult to do a few years ago. So yeah, it's nuts. It's crazy.
All right, so do you guys like this is literally AI it's the worst it'll ever be right now, like as far as being dumb and not unsophisticated.
And
Um,
yes,
AI is like the McDonald's for creativity, right? It's just a drive through. The food sucks, but are you going to drive through? Yes, because now, unfortunately, as creatures, I need this now, instant gratification. I don't want to work 12 hours a day if I can work 3 hours a day. Um, I and it's like the hubris, right? Man's hubris. Let's talk. I'm not going to mention any names. I want to get demonetized or throw up a bunch of fuss. But there's certain billionaires, trillionaires that are like really trying to like wrap their mind around AI because even when it does become self-aware, let's be honest, it will. They're like, I can control it. I can control it. Me, blank blank can control it. I made it. I can control it. And the folly of man never works out. It's just one thing right after the other. Now, the scariest part for AI for me, I've not experienced it, but just watching the videos terrified me. Is that if you go to like cities like Austin, that's 100%. You can hop into 100% self-driving taxi, not a human being in that thing.
that's
Now, that's terrifying on many reasons because even if it wasn't self-aware, it's only aware of itself. It knows it has a passenger, but like, who's it care about? Like, if I'm going down the road, another car is coming, and if you're driving, Gavin, I'd be like, "Hey, fuck, dude, look out!" And then
right.
because my instincts, surpass like a field of technology or waves or however it works to sense danger. Um, that's crazy. That's scary to me. And then on the flip side, it's kind of hilarious if you watch like certain videos. They're all in parking lots at the end, recharging, like at the end of the night, and they're all like honking their horns at each other and fucking making circles all around. It's insanely hilarious. But the biggest fear though is not being able to recognize things with our own eyes. So when you're on Facebook, when you're on all of this, you mentioned the deep fakes, not being able to recognize something that's real, leading to misinformation, and that's kind of where we're at now.
Yeah.
Someone will put something on there. I can spot it in an instant, but maybe folks that are older than me think that's something that one politician said or did, and the other one's like, yeah, that's absolutely what it is. And that's really kind of going to be the biggest and most dangerous thing about AI. Sure, it'll take jobs and things like that, but to do disinformation campaigns for a global world, nope. There's your movie right there, guys. Come on, let's write that shit and get it out.
No,
So,
100%.
but then the AI would watch it and it would just learn from it. So we're kind of fucked. No.
We're screwed either way. It's just this endless circle. But no, you're absolutely right. It's kind of like I was looking at some old footage of a video game I used to play, Far Cry 3, and I was like, oh my God, when I was a kid, that game looked so much better than it did. So yeah, you've got kids that are watching this stuff, and to them it looks real, and especially older people, me, and there are some times where I'm like, wow, if that's not kind of what I do, which I don't use AI or anything like that, but I'm in that realm of digitally creating stuff. If I didn't know what to look for, I couldn't tell the difference, So there are already videos that look amazing. Sure, I can tell the difference because I know how to pick out flaws, but most people won't, and it's gotten to the point where it's like indistinguishable between something that's real.
100%, dude. It's getting. I just listened to a Kamala Harris a video the other day. That was her saying some really off the wall stuff, and it wasn't her. It was all AI generated, but it
Yep.
sounded just like her. It looked just like her, but it wasn't
Yep.
her. And the only way you could tell it wasn't her is because the stuff she was saying was just completely crazy that she would never actually say. But yeah, we're getting to a part in our evolution where we can't tell now. It's like that's why I don't think you should be able to use video footage or phones or anything in a court case anymore because now it can all be faked and it
Oh,
looks so real. it's crazy, and I feel celebrities are gonna have it real bad.
They already do.
I mean, oh man, these fake sex videos and stuff, and it looks
Yeah.
so real. You can't tell that that's not that celebrity. And
Hey, wait. Dustin, how do you know it looks real?
I mean, come on, you're telling me Scarlett Johansson is out here making a sex tape? Come on, come on. No,
I'm
it's
gonna have to check your web. I'm gonna have to check your web search later, man.
hold on. No, it's really getting Terminator. Cameron had it right. That is definitely. I think if we keep going where we're going, that is definitely the future that we could definitely have, where it becomes self-aware. And because the next thing they're doing, right? Actually, I think it's the end of this year or beginning of next year. They're going to be combining ChatGPT with Alexa and Sierra, whatever her name is, dude, that's terrifying. Like the fact that I'll now be able to go to Alexa and it's gonna be like a real person I'm talking to, right? That's just, man, it's scary stuff. Where's John Connors? Where's he at? We're gonna need him.
I don't understand why there's not any, laws or rules, and maybe there are in small ways, but like, where's the as like there's plenty of talk between creators and stuff, but like, people that can actually make laws against this, like where is their rebuttal at? It's crazy that we've already gotten to this point. There should be something in the way of what we're having to deal with now, and the fact that there's not is concerning.
Well, we currently have politicians that don't even know how TikTok works or what email is.
Yeah.
So trying to wrap their heads around AI is just not a thing. And the ones that do understand AI are getting paid under the table to pretend they don't. So, yeah, no, there's gonna be no regulating AI until AI kills us, and then they're gonna be like, oh, we really should have done something about that 20 years ago.
Ooh.
Glad we didn't. Oh, doom and gloom. Yeah, doom and gloom.
All right, hit us with another question, Dustin. Hit us with another question.
Uh, yeah. What's it like? What's it like to make a movie, be in a television show? Is it what it's all cracked up to be, or is it not? Gavin,
Man, who goes first? Who goes first?
You can go, yeah.
I don't know.
No, I got this. No, Gavin, go ahead, bud.
I'll tell you this. It's both. Like, in ways, it absolutely is all it's cracked up to be, but in other ways, there's definitely a misconception in some minds, not a lot, but in some people's minds, they think it's easy. They're like, oh my God, you just, you get up there, you say your lines, and then that's it. And like I've met people who are like new to the industry, they get into it and they book a small role and they're like, oh my God, like I had no idea that you guys did it like 18 times, and that you guys were there filming a scene for like 4 hours. So in ways, yes, it is all it's cracked up to be. I mean, it's amazing. The hair, the makeup, special effects, the cameras and the machinery that the cameras are on, the cranes, all types of stuff like that. But in other ways, it's not. But I tell you what, I wouldn't choose any other job. I would not choose any other job.
Yeah, I think what was it? I was an extra a couple times in my life, but the I guess the biggest film was, I think it was Darren Aronofsky's Noah. They shot in Brookville, Long Island, New York, and it's the first because I called up production. I said, hey, I'd like to maybe like any acting as an extra or whatever. And the guy's name is Tyson Bidner, who's the producer. He works on like some of like the Marvel movies. He's a location scout, and that's how I met the guy like years ago. And so I kind of went through the process of, the acting, we got into, we sat around, waited. It was definitely an experience for me because I didn't act. I'd done like a lot of indie stuff, projects, film, directing. So to actually go there, get dressed up, and then we had like different, like, people just don't understand, like as an actor, and I'm not an actor, but being that type of person for the day, you'd have like different groups, as the extras in the background, like they would call one the wolves and the cats and all these things. So there was different like bunches of like people that they would group together, and there was different like assistant directors like directing them and saying okay, and then they had the rain machine up above. So people don't understand the process takes a long time, and sometimes it's like hurry up and wait, like they say in the industry, right? So noticing that, and then like making the Forest Hills, for example, is definitely a clear difference with that. So yeah, but I enjoyed the Forest Hills. It was fun. It was definitely fun.
Oh
And I
yeah.
just want to echo most of what these guys have said. It's really great if you love it. It's not great if you don't really care for it, like every other job. And when we watch movies and film and TV, it's escapism. So we're escaping and we assume that it's just magic, that it just happens, right? So we don't know about the hurry up and wait. We think that our jobs also are menial and horrible. And then we see someone that's on the big screen fighting off Godzilla. They're like, oh, that's so already perceived to be more awesome. So you don't even let your mind think of the work that's involved because you're trying to dissociate. But yeah, if given the opportunity, the other two gentlemen that said great things before me, Scott and Gavin, infinitely more, knowledgeable and, experienced than I am. But yeah, hell, I'd do it all day, every day, no matter what it took. And it, even the hurry up and wait, you're hurry up and waiting for something that could be 100% different than the take 2 hours ago, or it's another scene, or it's like reading a book. Reading a book's not sexy. You read a book to get knowledge and information. It takes time. You're absorbing things, and you're learning more through the process, and that's invaluable information. It goes back to it's practice. If you want to be good at sports, you have to practice. It's not just instant. Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't just walk on set and have his lines fed to him. He might, but he's still memorizing lines. And hell, even being that person takes much more time and effort than we know, right? Because the photographers, what are you wearing to the events? All of the other things involved, sitting with agents. You have so many other people trying to dictate your life and what it's going to be that there's a great bit of pressure there. It's like me, I am a boss, but I report to a boss and an owner and things like that. So it's really all about perspective. And I think that if anybody spends one day as an extra or a background, that's the coolest thing you could do. Even if you don't like it, you have like perspective. But hell, if someone wanted to come to my job that was an actor, I'd teach them how to do what I do in a day. So just getting that knowledge and transferring it back and forth is probably my favorite part of the whole experience. Is just learning. And I'm slightly vain too. I'm not gonna lie. Adulation feels great. Once you're on the screen and you spot yourself, you're like, oh yeah, I'm on something that I've been watching since I was a kid. Or, hey, look, you bring your friends and family. So, of course, there's a little bit of endorphin rush there, a little bit of drug. That's why when I cosplay at conventions, it's great to like have people take your picture because, yeah, shit, I worked hard on this. Yeah, take 1,000 pictures, put it all over social media. So there's a part that feels really good too. And it's addictive. It's what it is.
I mean, think what the thing you said about and I gotta talk about Leonardo DiCaprio because I mean, Wolf of Wall Street. There's this one scene. Got the name of the actor. Maybe you guys might know, but you got to think of also other actors in the scenes, right? Like Leonardo DiCaprio obviously is the lead of the film, but that yacht scene with the FBI
Yeah.
agent, fucking that guy nailed it. I mean,
Oh,
that actor was phenomenal, and it's like that's a directing class, of how a movie should be directed and how people should communicate with those characters. I mean, that guy was, I don't know his name, but that guy was absolutely phenomenal. So you said when you said Leonardo DiCaprio, I was thinking about like other people like who also are in the scenes as well that also shine as well.
Yeah, this
Oh,
industry,
yeah.
it's both. It is very, very hard and very exciting. Um, I remember season 2 of Gemstones when we were doing the season finale, and to this day I can't listen to that song Coffee Black
oh my
because
God.
we you see that scene, it's literally like a 5-minute scene. It's Danny and them on stage singing, but in reality that took like a week or two to make, and all of us extras, you see like 3, 4, 5,000 people in the background, but there's only 200 of us.
Mhm.
And we kept having to move to different seats. You're like, that's not that hard. we did that for 12 hours every day. Like you sit down, you dance to the song, and then you get up, you go to another section, and you shuffle around, and you have to listen to that song again, dance around, and it, by the time the day is over, you just want to bang your head against the wall. But then when you get home and the show comes on and you see it and you're like, that's amazing. Or you have Noah stab you with a knife. I mean, it can all
That
be
was
art.
that was a fun scene for me. But yeah, you nailed it, dude. Like it's sure it's a long day, but that's how I learned what tiling was. And you and me both those days got more cardio, so that's going to extend our life. And hey, if another film production's like, hey, we've got something going on. Do you know what this is about? It's like, hell yeah, I've got experience on Righteous Gemstones. I don't mind. It's going to be long, but I don't mind doing this. So, and it's like perspective, right? Just how you look at the situation, how you take it in, how you react as a person. Either brings you great joy or your feet hurt, or both. Just soak them puppies. And go back the next day.
Or you learn that when you cast Noah in your movie to play a serial killer, you don't use a real knife because you want to be authentic. You use a fake knife because he's going to get into character.
Oh, I'm going to get into character, man. Like I said, I'm going to get into character.
It's funny what we said about the real knife. We shot a scene with Dee Wallace in the film, and it was like a prop knife made from someone from like Etsy, but it wasn't like a rubber knife. And so we're talking about the knife. She's like, oh no. She's like, this ain't no fake knife, but it looked realistic. It wasn't, it was to a degree, but it wasn't rubber. So it was pretty funny. She's like, I ain't going there. It was pretty funny. Like the conversation between her and like everyone, like, that this is not a prop knife, but it was, but it was just, it was realistic because it couldn't be flimsy. So I thought I was remember that right there. Yeah.
Me and Noah used a real butcher knife.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
we had put like a plastic sheet with a hard plastic with cardboard, and like we tried to make it as safe as possible. And where the blood pack was, it was just laying right there. All he had to do was do a little jab motion. But Noah's a method actor, so he was the serial killer, so he went a little too aggressive and busted through the plastic cover and the blood pack and poked me. So my fault. I wanted authenticity. I wanted it to look real because we did have the fake knife. We had two fake knives actually. The black one's the one that got used in the movie, but they just didn't look real. It didn't look real for me. Yeah. And I needed people to know I was really being murdered.
And you've got a great story about a scar. No, I didn't give him a scar, guys. But if I had, then you'd be like, you want to know how I got these scars? And then you would tell me all about it, man. It was fun. But also, I was looking out for you because if we did it in one take, and we did that shit in the back of your car, and that fake blood would have ruined your whole back seat. So really, if you think about it, that's all I was thinking about. Let's not have his upholstery ruined.
That's another thing. We had a blood. It can be just fun. Me and Noah, we did our own practical effects and we made our own blood. And shout out to Sean Krumholtz for showing us how. But yeah, it can be a lot of fun, but it can be dangerous. It can be hard. And I'm sure Gavin knows getting up at 4:30 in the morning, having to be to sets, and you're just so tired. But you got to memorize lines, and it's a tough gig, but it's also satisfying and it's a lot of fun and all that fun stuff.
And it's a job that's very dependent on your emotions. So like, I've worked plenty of regular jobs, and I could go there and be in any mood I wanted to be in, and do it a little bit slower, a little bit faster, this, that, and the other, or not do as good of a job. And it really wasn't a big deal. As long as I got it done, I got it done. As long as I made the person their coffee, if they waited an extra 2 minutes, it wasn't a big deal, or maybe if it was a little sweeter. But at least to me, it's a really big deal if I'm off my game, and your personal life can affect that. You can have stuff going on. You come on set and can't remember your lines, even though you've drilled them 1,000 times because you're thinking about what's going on in your personal life. It's like, it's just wild how much of the outside world could influence, what you do, at least as an actor. On set. So that's a whole nother challenge within itself.
100%. I mean, when I think it might have been during one of the times I was filming the Forest Hills. I think my daughter was sick and I was like away in the Catskills. It stuck with me. It's like you might have a 3-year-old at home, and so you can definitely the outside influence of that can definitely make you concerned. I know, someone was dealing with with a family member who had cancer, who's going through radiation, so then they were, predominantly involved in the film. So, you know, a thing, I agree with you on that. There's definitely elements when that can definitely days where those elements can definitely affect someone, and you got to just try your best to kind of focus on what you got, in front of you, because that's the most important thing for sure.
And sometimes, like you guys mentioned, it might even, carry on with you afterwards. And this is kind of directed for you, Scott. I mean, obviously everyone that's watching this now has either watched The Forest Hills or they've not watched it yet. And you mentioned it earlier. So you don't even know day by day what's going to happen with anyone. Certainly no one expected the loss of Shelley Duvall and, all that she brought to world. Her comeback movie happens to be her final movie, which is tragic in so many ways. But I thought I want to touch a little bit on that. And I don't want you to ruin the movie or spoil it, but what genuinely was it like being around Shelley, and share anything that you can with the folks that are watching.
Sure. So the first 3 days I was not around Shelley. I directed her through FaceTime, which she thought was really, really fun. Because the first day was Scott Hansen and Steve Willenda. They drove up from Georgia to film with her, and they filmed with her. The first day was her just yelling at the camera, a bunch of lines, pretty simple. And she said to them, I really like to act with someone. I haven't acted with someone in a long time. So that's when we got Chico Mendes and Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp. A little bit after that, maybe it was like a couple of weeks or whatever after, to go down there. So I had to kind of organically build all the sequences and the scenes for Shelley Duvall's character of Mama. Third time, Scott Hansen, Steve Willenda went back down by themselves, get some more stuff. And then the fourth and fifth time, I went from Georgia when we filmed some stuff in like Conyers and Edenton, Georgia. We went down then to we flew down to Texas, and that's when I met her. So I remember vividly going into her room. She was sitting there smoking a cigarette, sitting on her bed, and she had like a big thing of like iced coffee or whatever next to her and stuff. And I go in and I say, "Hey, hello, Shelley Duvall. Hello, Shelley. Nice to finally meet you." And she's like, "Hello." She's very kind, but it was hard for me to kind of think about Shelley Duvall from The Shining, because there was that separation of how she looks now, or how she looked, completely different. But I was definitely nervous a little bit. But yeah, then you start working with her and stuff, and that was good. So we worked with her maybe for like an hour, maybe less. And then the last day we came down, we actually spent 2 days with her, because Scott Hansen was, I think, working on something else at that moment. So I rented a Red camera from, Jared from Red, the company Red. One of the guys in Texas that we rented from, Scott Balcom, he had his like, not the Raptor, it's the Red Rhino, and now Red was picked up by like I think Nikon, but as far as like buying the brand. So it went down for 2 days. We spent time with Shelley and just kind of got her some food, Mexican food, and just spent time with her, like filming some interviews and then filming some scenes. So she was really sweet. But on the fourth day, to revert back to the prior time, Nick Greystone, one of my friends, because Shelley was laying in bed and she had a really bad like foot infection. And he said we went to the other room. He said, "Hey man, I feel real bad. I don't think she's gonna last long." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "She doesn't like, the thing on her leg doesn't look great." So I know Dan Gilroy, her partner, who she lived with, was trying his best. They had like a wound care specialist come over every week, twice a week. They were trying to get her help and medicine to help the pain, and then I guess it just got worse and worse. I don't know if that was what was the downfall for her. I know diabetes was what Dan told everyone, which I assume is the case. That the complications from being diabetic. But yeah, it's just sad because she was really sweet and really kind. And it's funny. People reached out also, like, and I couldn't. Not funny, but it's interesting. People reached out and they were saying, "Hey, we'd like to get Shelley Duvall in like this Uber Eats commercial for Halloween." Like, so I passed along the information, and she never really like took on any other projects. There was always the opportunity for her to act and do stuff, but she never really. And I also wanted to keep her privacy private because she couldn't travel. She couldn't, every time she sat in her wheelchair, her foot would hurt, and just kept on getting worse and worse until at some point she was unfortunately bedridden, where she was on hospice. And and I can't let people know that. And TMZ is gonna run with that shit and try to make that it's be a whole Dr. Phil thing all over again. So it was all about respecting her legacy and making sure that she had dignity at the end of her life, and she really enjoyed it. So when there's certain detractors, I hear there are some people once in a while who say all these negative things. It's really just you ask Dan Gilroy, look at the videos, look at all the stuff. She really loved what she did. So it's just weird. Like the internet is a little weird like that. Sometimes people just are negative for whatever reason. But when she passed, people showed a lot of love and support. People were asking, well, what's going on with the Forest Hills? We don't see anything. So we put up a scene with her, Felissa Rose, on I think it was the day after she died, and just the outpouring of love. Everyone saying, how much they're gonna miss her and they're excited and stuff for the project. It was more about. It wasn't at all about like promoting the film. It was about putting content up so people can actually see what she's been working on, because people have been anticipating it. So that's my story with Shelley, and I just, like I said, it was weird because it wasn't necessarily like oh my God, I'm working with Shelley Duvall from The Shining. It was more like just Shelley, it was like a friend, and she became a friend, so that kind of thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Damn, well said. Thank you for sharing that, Scott. Man, it's
No, yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I'll tell you, y'all are gonna love what you see in the Forest Hills. She's a powerhouse in everything she does. Yeah, that's and it was exciting that she was making a comeback, and because she'd been out of film for 20 years. So it was I'm pretty sure, yeah, y'all are gonna love what you see in Shelley Duvall. Whew, that's
I know it's heavy, guys. Come on
It's
now.
heavy.
But
Yeah.
horror movie, we've been talking about death and murder all night. And if you won't connect it to like your real life personal, I mean, we all have feelings. We feel these feelings when we go into the movie theater, and we feel them, sadly, in real life when we're out of the theater. So
No, I appreciate your support
Stuff
early on. I mean,
fits.
I know you've been like a proponent of like strong proponent of like the film and being interested in it. So I really appreciate that from like the beginning. Like seeing I think you had put up a video, right, or something. Was it?
Yeah.
And stuff like that, man. It's this is like it's an independent film. It's a grassroots movement, like a lot of films. So we work our way up. We're booking our own theaters. We have over 100 right now that we just booked, just contacting places. And even Kevin Smith said something very interesting on a podcast. I forgot the guy's name, but he's kind of got like a little long hair. He's like a comedian, I think, but he was
Theo
talking.
Vine.
Yeah,
Theo
him.
Vine.
He was talking to him. He said like,
That's awesome.
yeah,
That was great.
yeah, right. And he was talking just about like the aspect of like, strike a deal with AMC, not us, but other, we have other chains, but theater chains. But he's like, strike a deal with these places, places need movies, theaters want to get people in the door, so if they feel like there's something of value, then they're gonna, give it a chance. So
Yeah, Scott, I think Noah's the one that sent me your original trailer.
okay.
So Noah's the reason that I'm getting 3 o'clock in the morning text messages from you with you freaking out.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Noah sent me the first trailer, first iteration of the first cut of this film, and I watched it, and I'm a huge Shelley Duvall fan. I'm a huge Edward Furlong fan, and I just loved what I saw. So I reached out to Scott, and I was like, dude, I have to be a part of this in any way I can. And Scott's like, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a movie producer. And then I was originally brought on to just sell your movie.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think that was over a year ago, and now the film is much bigger in scale, and it's just, I mean, it's amazing what you've done. And to honestly, they should write books about what Scott has been doing with movies. I mean, you got it into so many movie theaters on your own. You know what I mean? Like, that's something the distributors do, but Scott has been doing it.
It's hard. It's a journey. And you know what? I always look at it this way. If this is my only project that I, had an investor to put in money and do a project, and then, I have to go all out and because I believe in it, and, so that's it. My school of thought is or my projects have been all independent, so everyone has different directions, right? Like Gavin has a different direction with his acting. Chico Mendez, the actor from the film, has a different direction. David Gordon Green, all these people, there's no one size fits all, journey of how people are going to make movies or act or produce or anything. So it's all about, just, believing in yourself and taking those chances, so, and when the opportunities come along, and there's an audition or there's a project, you go for it.
Well said.
Speaking of theaters, Dustin, did you contact the Terrace Theater?
I don't know that we did.
Please do. They would show that movie in a heartbeat.
Now, is that a cinema or is that like a theater?
No. We did. It's on the list. We haven't gotten to it yet. The Terrace is it's a independent theater here in Charleston. It's
okay,
on the list I gave you. We just haven't gotten to it.
It's huge. It's huge though. Trust me. I mean, Michael Rooker was there the other day promoting one of his films. I got to meet Michael Rooker, and they bring in some big name people. They also work with TerrorVision, everyone knows what TerrorVision is. So they have a partnership with them. And they always do like a Rocky Horror Picture Show event at the Terrace Theater. They're cool. They're genuinely cinephiles. So I don't know why I didn't think of that till earlier, but yeah, reach out to them.
Yeah, people always suggest like not movie theaters, but theaters, and I'm like, no, give me cinemas, like where people can sit in a dark room, have popcorn.
Oh yeah.
That's where this film, or a lot of films, I think should be seen. When you have like a theater, that's a little hairy for me. I think it's better off to be like in a dark room with, just, that type of atmosphere. So
yeah, that's what this place. Yeah, 100% this place. You walk outside, like Hedy Lamarr painted on the outside of the movie theater from the birds. You walk in, it's got the shiny carpet down. It's
nice.
Coincidentally, even if you don't play it there, if you're in the Charleston area, you guys see a movie at the Terrace Theater.
Cool. That's cool. Very cool.
Gavin, have you been to the Terrace Theater yet?
No, I haven't, man. But I'm sitting here like listening to all this, and I'm like, God, dude, I really need to get with you about a project that I have in mind. We need to create something together, man. We got to make something. But no, I haven't really gotten the chance to explore Charleston an awful lot. We've been super busy with Gemstones, but then also, dude, moving here has just taken like such a physical toll on us. I don't think I'll ever get over how difficult. Like we made all the trips ourselves, didn't pay to do it for us. It was a 4.5 hour drive each time, and it was me, maybe a total of 4 people doing the whole move. So we haven't gotten to see Charleston an awful lot.
Dude, I didn't know this. You should have definitely you guys should have reached out to me and we would have helped you. I didn't know you guys were doing all that by yourself.
Well, no, don't worry about it, man. Heck, we've moved so many times. It's nothing new to us, but it definitely took a toll on us. But I appreciate that, seriously.
Terrace, so it's over on James Island. Yeah, like Noah said, they do The Room. They'll have Greg come out. They've done that a couple times. Rocky Horror Picture Show, they've had a couple of the actors out there do it's on, and I love things like that. And I brought that up to Scott a year ago that we should have done something like that, like gotten with Edward or somebody and traveled with the film, because that kind of stuff, that's a newer thing that's been happening in the past 10 years. Kevin Smith is the champion of it. You travel with the film, you watch it with the audience, do a Q&A. It's what we'll be doing at Ivanhoe. Scott, you're going to be doing it at what, is it the Fairway or the one in Long Island that you're
Showcase Cinemas? Showcase there in like Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Long Island. Yep.
Yeah, so he'll be out there. Are you going to Smodcastle when?
I haven't. I'm away with family out on the North Fork of Long Island, and then Sunday I have a proposal at a vineyard. So no, unfortunately.
Well, if you're at Smodcastle Cinemas, we'll be playing there. Like I said, I'll link all that in the description, and you can see where the Forest Hills is playing. Yeah, and Gavin, we are always down to collab. Dude, I love making movies. I love it. I love everything about this industry. I'm trying to work with Scott right now. We're literally in the beginning talks of a new movie. But I love it. I love it. What does everybody? Oh, what's up? What you got?
Well, I was also gonna give Gavin a quick opportunity to promote kind of what he. I know. I mean, he can't say much about the new season of Righteous Gemstones, obviously. But is there anything you can say, Gavin?
Man, I'm like Tom Holland when it comes to this stuff. If you get me talking too much,
I'll cut you off. You're so much better than Tom Holland.
No. Let me. I ran into some fans the other day at a place called Home Team Barbecue in Charleston. Very very.
That's my
And
shit.
oh, dude, it's so good. Anyway, but I articulated what I could very well, so I'll just say the same thing.
Yeah.
The people that they are bringing on this season are gonna fucking blow you away, and it is gonna make the series 10 times bigger. Not only that, but you could absolutely, bet on there being some really, really good writing. This show, just like Vice Principals, does such an amazing job at tying in comedy with drama. I've never seen anybody else do it as well as they do it, and there's going to be a lot of that this season. On top of new cast members and some amazing new cast members. So I'll say that.
Perfect. That's a
And
nice
I'll tell you
tease.
this.
Right? I didn't Tom Holland that one.
Well,
Very good.
I'll tell you that before we started recording, before Noah got here, me and Gavin, because I know who the cast members are, and me and Gavin were talking about them. But Scott was here, but we were talking in code. So Gavin takes his NBA stuff very seriously.
I do.
Yes.
I wouldn't even mention the gender of this particular person.
Right. Exactly. All good. All good. I have no idea who it is, so it's all good.
Oh man. And Scott, you've got Forest Hills premieres in a week.
Is it a week or two?
It's the. Oh, you know what? It is 2 weeks.
2 weeks, baby. 2 weeks.
I was about to
I'm
freak out
thinking-
there. A week.
It's like, what?
It's not. It doesn't premiere this Friday. It's next Friday, October 4th.
Sure.
And yeah, I'll say this. Forest Hills. It's a for one, it's a love letter to horror for sure, especially with the amount of people that you have. So many iconic people in this movie that it's overwhelming. Dee Wallace, Marion Hagen, Edward Furlong, Shelley Duvall.
Felicia Rose. Yeah.
Not only is it a love letter, it's so different, and it is, and I mean this in a good way. This movie is batshit crazy from the start to the end in the best way. I can't. First time I saw this movie, it was that Scott sent it over to me, and that was a different version of what cut. And I told Scott, I was like, dude, you have something wild and awesome here, and people are gonna love this. But that's what I'm gonna say about it. Scott, what do you want to say about your genius movie here?
I appreciate the positivity. I mean, there's one review I saw that said, oh man, what I just blanked. But it's good to hear good reviews, because then also with the good reviews, there's also like the bad ones that you hear too, of the earlier stuff. But yeah, the earlier cut was definitely far inferior. So yeah, we definitely have something here. I think yeah, okay, I now remember. So there was this YouTuber who did not post their review yet. I think I told you about it, but they said they did not like the movie at all, but they were entertained. And they said that the worst is to have a movie that is what they call a great film and to be bored. So there's gonna be as we know, right? Critics. There's gonna be pros and cons, positives and negatives. So then there's this one other critic, Poltergeist, who's on YouTube, who was fucking floored by the film and loved it, and is like, I can't wait to talk to other people about this. I'm keeping it a secret because the embargo, but now I can finally talk to people. I loved it. So it's just there's different tastes for everyone as far as like what people are gonna like. So I appreciate the support from anyone who likes it, and if people don't like it, that's fine as well. People can have their opinions. So
Just the way Kevin Smith, he just said it. It's on that same interview that you guys are talking about how we don't need greatness. You can get by with just fine, and at the end of the day, as long as it was just fine, and you had fun, and I can tell you, Scott had fun making this movie, and I've had fun.
Dude, and ultimately, P.T. Barnum said it best. There's no such thing as bad publicity. If they're talking about the movie, that gets you there. And because it's cool to be negative. I meant negative
That's
stories.
mine. Yeah.
Get more clicks. I mean, seriously, they get to the top of the news page, they get more clicks. I'm not saying that's going to happen with your film, but if there's some people that are really riled up about it, let them talk
Yeah.
about it, share that review. But you're always hashtagging the Forest Hills, and you're always telling them where to buy, like the DVDs and the merch, because yeah, sometimes those people, whether they really believe that they hate it or not, could be some of your biggest allies.
That reminds me.
Either way, you got their money. You know,
That
so
reminds me.
here's the winner.
Reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean. He's like, "You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of, but you have heard of me."
That's right.
That is funny.
Yeah. It's I'm so excited. I'm so excited for season 4 of Gemstones. So excited for the Forest Hills. Noah is also repping season 4 of Gemstones.
I know who the special guest star is. One of them. I'm not gonna tell nobody.
One of them. There's more than one, y'all. And Gemstones is really good about that. We saw that with season 3, season 2. Danny and David and all the team. They've got everybody on that show is amazing. Seriously, the special guests, the main cast. It's absolutely insane. I remember when season 1 came out and they were looking for background extras, and I saw who was in this show, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? You have Adam Devine, John Goodman, Danny McBride. What the hell is this? Like, and then season 2 and 3 you bring in Eric Roberts and Andre and it just Cassie Freeman. My God, she's fantastic. Edie Pat. Oh my God, she's fantastic. Gavin and Emma Shannon. Just y'all are fantastic. This whole cast is beyond fantastic. And Noah is fantastic.
I'm real fantastic. I'm just saying, they call me Mr. Fantastic. Reed Richards, I'm so good in this right here, guys.
I'm gonna be. I feel like Noah. Besides for the Muscleman, I think Noah. I feel like you are the main background extra for this show.
I mean, whether I am or not, that's going to be part of my signature when I see people on the streets now. Hey, guys, let me talk real quick about horror and Dane McBride real quick and Charleston. The next project, I said I want to be an Evil Dead, but if we can make, I don't know, Gavin, I'm not asking for a genie wish here, but when they make Grady Hendrix' book into a movie, the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires.
Yeah.
Edie and Danny are working together, right? And it's set in Charleston. Like, I listened to the audiobook the other day, and when you hear like riding down Coleman Boulevard and stuff like this, it's so local to Charleston. How could it not be filmed here? So more horror from Danny McBride coming down the pipeline too. And Gavin, if you're not in that, go ahead and line it up because that shit's gonna be huge.
Listen, anything that Danny's doing and David's doing from here on out, I'm really gonna try to finagle my way into. I said that, like, I think on the last day of filming, I'm like, look, I don't know how many seasons Gemstones is gonna get, but regardless, I really hope that they keep me and Emma and then many other cast members in mind for whatever they're gonna do next.
100%. And Danny has fallen in love with Charleston. Like, I mean, he lives here now. So, yeah, that's right. No, I completely forgot he is adapting that book, and that's gonna be fantastic. We all have to be a part of that. Oh my God, that would be so fantastic. Y'all. Well, thank you for joining the Hollywood Hangouts. We'll be back next weekend with more awesome guests. So definitely go see Forest Hills October 4th or 11th. I'll leave the website in the description so you can check out the dates. And season 4 Gemstones, I have no idea when it comes out, sometime in 2025. And it's gonna be fantastic. Y'all, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Gavin. Thank you, Scott. Noah, as always, I love you like a brother. And
I love you too, brother. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel as well. And follow all these boys on social media. We love it. We love talking movies. We love talking to you. And I hope you have a great evening, everybody.